style, sell with Sue. It's your move.
Okay, hello. Welcome to another edition of No Place Like Home. And when I think of home, really one of the first things I think about is how beautiful a decorated home is, a custom home, those homes that we see. So today I have invited Charlene Threatful to come and have a little chat with us. She is the owner and lead interior designer of Lush Interiors. And if you've never visited their website, I encourage you to go. It is gorgeous, Charlene.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's an award-winning design firm. The homes and the interiors that they do are magazine worthy. You want your home to look like this. And Char is the woman who makes it happen. So welcome today. How are
Thank
you?
you. I'm great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to chat with you, Sue.
And we are excited to hear from you. And so tell us a bit about yourself, but here's really the question that I think we all want to know. What what is the gift or the giftings that someone like you, a successful designer, has that the rest of us lay people don't have? What are we missing?
Well, we say we're a Calgary-based interior design firm, and kind of what we say is we create unique spaces for extraordinary clients. So we have a wealth of experience. We've been in business for 22 years, and we have a team of designers and project managers that have a unique set of skills and industry knowledge. And so we can bring that to all of our clients and listen to them carefully, understand what they need, pull out the pain points, and really understand how they want to live and function within their home, and then execute on that to bring a vision and creativity to life. So that's what we do. That's a special set of skills that not everyone has. Just
I
like
would
I could never
agree.
be a realtor. Yes. And then we strive to make the experience unique for every individual client. So their home feels like their home
Mm.
and personal to them.
I think what you just said there is something I don't think about every day. And so I bet the layperson is not thinking about these unique spaces and how do we want to live. I remember when my husband and I got married, second marriages for us both. And so I had a bunch of used, secondhand old furniture, plus some modern touches of things I liked. And he had all like comfortable old ugly furniture, and he didn't care what it looked like, and how you don't think about merging the spaces, you need some help. I'm sure you've seen disasters like that.
We've seen a few homes. Yeah, we've had a few homes that we've had to kind of purge some things and merge other households together. And yeah, it's fun though. We really, really enjoy what we do. And we love making our clients happy. And so often a client will say, I just can't, I'm so happy. I couldn't imagine it would look like this. I never thought of that. I never envisioned this. Because most of our clients can't visualize what we
Mhm.
do. And so that is also a unique talent that we bring as well.
I bet. I know my daughter and her husband bought an office, well, a home that they turn into an office. And I was there this week and it is so beautiful now. Your team helped them renovate that whole space. But when they first bought it, it was old, whatever, 70s, just nothing was appealing.
Yeah.
And now it is so glamorous and it matches their personalities. So, how do you do that? Tell us what's your secret sauce?
Well, we can use their office, which is in Okotoks, if anybody wants to go see it. Flemmer Realty, it's fantastic. And they bought this old 70s bungalow. Well, it's actually split level.
Yeah.
And I just, we go through a really extensive process of interviewing our clients to understand what they want, like what their personal tastes are, how they want the space to look and feel, and what their vision is for the space. So after meeting with Drew and Amy and understanding exactly what their vision was for the space, we executed on it. And they kind of had an idea of what they wanted, but not totally, and not totally how to bring it all together. Like they knew how they wanted the space to function, but they didn't know how to make that happen. So, luckily we just have experience, like not only, industry experience, but also we go to school and do a lot of training for space planning and how
Mm.
things function within a space. So we brought that all together for them and made the space function exactly how they needed to function. And then on top of that, like the icing on the cake is the finishings, the millwork, the beautiful flooring and tile work. The wallpaper that we did in the powder room, like all of that is kind of like the icing on the cake. But the real bones and the meat of it is, how does that space function? What does it look? How do they want their clients to feel when they come into the space? And how do they interact with their clients? And so we worked really hard to bring all those spaces together. So Drew has his own office, and then there's somebody to greet you at the front, and it's really warm and inviting. And there's a beautiful boardroom in there with lots of lights. And yeah, it just ended up, it's such a
Yeah.
beautiful space. Such
Oh,
a
it
great.
worked. And you're saying, I identify with this. You're bringing the dreams into reality,
Mhm.
but there's a big chasm for most people. And just last week, a client came in and I think he was a finishing carpenter. He understands the quality of work and he was just wide mouthed and looking around. That's what you want people to do when
Oh,
they
I'm
come
so
into your
happy to hear
space,
that.
like, wow, I appreciate the attention and the detail. But I'm sure you've heard of a lot of disasters, or maybe it's disasters that cause people to phone you when they think they can do this themselves or try, and then they can only get so far. Have you had any horror stories that you could share?
Yeah, we've had a few horror stories. One in particular I will share with you was, we had a client that had purchased drapery online. They were really traditional in their style, and they wanted sheers and, velvet drape and swags and valance and the whole thing. They didn't want to spend the money that it was going to take to have it made locally, because we do have all of our drapery made locally. So they went online and they were convinced that this was a good deal and they were going to purchase these drapes online. So they purchased them and then they arrived, and I got the panic phone call because the rod, typically when we take a drapery rod out to a client, everything's kind of put together. So you just install the rods, all the hardware, hang the drapery, and it looks amazing. Well, everything came and it had Chinese instructions, no English instructions whatsoever.
Oh,
And we had to bring in our installer, our drapery installer. Typically, it would take him 2 to 3 hours to install those drapes. It took him 16 hours to put in those drapes, because there was a million pieces that had to be put together, and he had to build the entire drapery rod from scratch.
oh
And then they were
no.
really disappointed, of course, in the fabric and the quality of the drapes. So much money and time on the actual, renovation of their home. And it took what was a beautiful, like really ultra refined, sophisticated room and made it feel really mediocre, just
Oh,
because of these drapes that were in there. So we ended up hanging them. And then a few months later, they ended up coming down and we put in custom drapes that really fit the space. And the transformation between what they purchased online and the custom was extraordinary. I have a lot more stories like that, but yeah.
same in fashion. Like sometimes we want to go cheap, and something that catches our eye at the moment, but putting money into something that's classic that you can keep. I mean,
Mhm.
honestly, I'm just thinking right now, about window coverings, even couches.
Yes.
We don't change those. I mean, you use them forever.
Mhm. Well, like
So,
there's fast fashion now. There's fast like home goods where,
mm,
you can go to Home Sense and Winners and buy
mhm,
all this stuff, and it lasts a couple of years and then you throw it away and it ends up in a landfill. And that's
yeah,
really specifically what we try not to do. Like we
yeah,
try to, give our clients pieces that will last them a lifetime.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now, I'm not suggesting that those of us listening could become an interior designer, but I'm sure you could give us a few just quick tips, like for the regular Joe out here. Maybe we're not at this time going to totally redesign our house, but are there some main mistakes that we're making or some quick tips that we could go around and maybe do a little bit better in our own homes?
Okay, this is really relevant because I just returned from a walkthrough, a new home walkthrough. So I was
Okay.
brought in by the realtor. Client purchased this beautiful home, gorgeous home, really high-end home. We did a walkthrough and none of the lighting was on dimmers. This is like a multi-million dollar home and none of the
Oh,
lights had dimmers on them. People don't realize, I think the quick tip would be lighting is so important. Like lighting is important in your home. Like lighting design can affect your mood, your creativity, your productivity, your sleeping patterns, just your overall wellness. Lighting it plays an
huh.
extremely important part of our overall wellness, especially in northern climates like Calgary. So we always encourage proper lighting designs with all of our clients, which means like a quick little tip is we went around that house and put dimmers and asked the builder to put dimmers on all of the lights. Like because an overhead light, a pot light is just
Yeah.
LED and they're all LED now, which is really bad for our health.
Oh,
So if you can put dimmers on all your lights, that alone will save you a lot of aggravation. And it
good
just,
tip.
yeah, makes a difference in your overall general health and well-being.
I showed a house, which I spoke about on the first episode, and because there was such a stark contrast, it was actually two townhouse units in the same complex, and one was just great feeling, no problems with it at all. And in contrast, when we saw the second place, which was almost an identical floor plan, it was so obvious, like all the lighting was different and the bulbs were different. And I don't think people usually notice things like that, especially when they work well.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
lighting is key, is key. Mhm.
yeah, do you say stay away from the cold blue LED bulbs and keep
Yeah,
everything warm?
yeah. 2700 Kelvin is typically what we like to specify in our bulbs. Um, and now LEDs are getting so much better. When they first came out, they were all like 3000, 5000 Kelvin, and they were really that really bright blue white. They're getting better now, but
Yeah,
I'm an incandescent person. Like if I will do incandescent lights every day, all day, if I can. I try to stay away from LEDs.
that's a great tip.
Yeah.
Um, Anything else about the home?
Oh,
I'm going through my own mind. What are all the mistakes that I know I'm making?
so, okay, and this kind of relates to lighting as well. So we went through the home and we decided we were going to do some drape, like, so there's no window treatments on the house at all. It's brand new, of course.
Mhm.
And so typically a client would just think, oh, I'll just put blinds all over the place and be done with it. But we're not putting a single like blind in that house. It's all drapery because at night they want to close their drapes and they want to have light control in their bedroom and have their bedroom dark. And that you just can't do that very well with drapes. And it's a beautiful home. You want it to be visually appealing. You want it to feel warm and inviting. So adding that layer of texture through drapes. So we're doing sheers and blackout drapes in most of
Oh.
the house.
So you
Um,
mean to control the lighting in the room, you can't do it with blinds?
you could do it with blinds, but sheers are so much better. Sheers and drapery is better.
Okay, yeah,
If you're in your bedroom and you're closing your blind, you're always going to have a little bit of light gap
yeah,
on the blinds. Whereas when you close a drape, it's going to close and it doesn't have any. It's like when you go to a hotel room and you close your drapes and it's nice and dark. So
okay.
that's what they wanted. So that's what we did to control the light in those rooms. And then even in the other rooms, they want light to come through, but they want some privacy and they still want to, there's so many hard surfaces in a home and they wanted to incorporate texture and warmth in the space. And so we're doing like linen shears through most of the
Hmm.
house. And it really allows you to open and close them, control the light, the way the light comes in. On a super sunny day, you can close it and still have light coming through without it glaring. Because
Yeah,
there's nothing worse than having no window covering on there and then the sun is beaming in. Well,
yeah.
maybe we're looking for the sun right now because we've had such a long winter. But yeah, typically it gives you a lot of light control. And again, lighting is so important.
Hmm.
And that's really key when even looking at window treatments, like how to control that light. It's not a matter of just opening a blind or closing a blind. There's lots of other factors involved. So
Yeah. So if you're
Yeah.
not happy with the blinds that came with your house,
Yeah.
so
Right?
many times I think people move in, lots of times in our contracts, we have all window coverings are included.
Yes.
Make sure all the window coverings are included. And I don't know what the percentage, let me guess, 70% maybe of the time, they're terrible.
Yeah.
Good ideas for us to go through and look at lighting and window coverings. You do this, I mean, this is your career all the time, coming up with new ideas, and hearing new ideas, I guess, from clients and seeing what's on trend. I know you go to the furniture fashion shows all over the
Yeah.
world. What are some things that you're seeing now that you're loving, or maybe they're classic things that you just always, they work, they're classic, they're things that you love. Can you share any tips for us?
So my motto is nothing goes out of style if you love it. That's kind of my personal
Hmm.
motto. So I want people to put things in their home that they love, because if it's something you truly love, you will never get tired of it. We don't typically design or decorate for trends per se. And we saw a lot of trends when we were just in Vegas at the furniture show, and we saw a lot of different trends, a lot of organic shapes, a lot of warm colors, color drenching, a lot of curves, organic shapes, textures in furnishings. So we're really getting away from the modern,
Hmm.
clean lines, high gloss, gray cabinets into like warm finishes, almost kind of resident of I want to say like 80s, like where we're seeing oak floors again. We're seeing thin board oak floors. We're
Hmm.
seeing browns, lots of browns, beiges, um, terracotta, real artisan feeling interiors that instead of being mass produced, things that really feel like they're curated and somebody made them with their own hands. And that's kind of a trend. But my feeling on that is, first of all, I love it because I loved all the warm colors, even when the trend was to have a white kitchen and white walls and gray floors. In my own
Mhm.
home personally, I never did that. My kitchen was always like an off-white cream color. I still have the same turquoise velvet sofa that I've had for 25 years, and I love it. And people come in and go, "Oh my gosh, that is gorgeous!" Like, so it's like, yes, because I won't. You only have to buy it once. You buy it once, you love it, and it never goes out of style if you love it. And of course, things change, and you can modify and add and subtract. And I travel and find things when I'm traveling and add to my space. But yeah, if you buy things you love, then and every client's different. And that's what I love about what we do is that every client is unique and
Yeah.
no two clients' homes look the same. And I really try to inject my client's personality in their home because I want them to feel safe and warm in their space. And when you surround them with things that either they've purchased or, collected, or mean something to them, then that gives them a real feeling of comfort. And that's what you want. You want to come into your home and feel safe and warm and comfortable. So that's what we try to do every day.
I would love to encourage everyone to sit down with your family members and talk about those things. I bet that's something we don't purposefully, consciously discuss. How do you want to feel? What kinds of things do you like? What a great bunch of ideas to talk about.
Yeah, it's fun.
You've been in business for a long time, over 20 years. You said, I'm wondering, you're not just your career, but you are a person underneath that successful designer. And what did it take for you to get here? What have you learned along the way that maybe we can also take away in our personal lives?
Well, I think I've learned over the last few years that I have to let go of being in control of everything. And that I know, and that I'm a bit of I like to be in control of things. But I've had to let go of control over my business somewhat. Like I've had to engage people that are experts in their field. So I've brought in an HR person and I hired a PR person and I have a gentleman that does all our social media. I bring in the experts to help me execute on what I'm trying to achieve within my business. And it's in my personal life too. Like I need experts to come and help me. I can't do everything myself. And even if I wanted to, sometimes they know more than I do. And so why wouldn't I engage them? It's just like I need a realtor. I need you, Sue, to help me sell my house or help me find a house. I can't do that on my own. Engage a designer to help like with your space because it's something that you don't have the expertise at the time for. So I've had to kind of let go of that control and bring in people that are experts in their field to help me be a better business person and be a better designer and run my firm in a more productive, effective way.
You know, that's such good advice. Especially in Calgary, we have the highest amount of entrepreneurs in our city across Canada. And it's a well-known fact, and people come here and start their businesses. When you start, you suck it up, you pull up your bootstraps, you do everything yourself. And then I don't know, what is it? Maybe we rely on ourselves so much, or we get in a habit. It only takes 30 days to get in a habit. Well, if you're doing that for 3 years, you're entrenched in these habits of doing everything yourself. So at some point, hey, go ahead and hire the experts. Make your environment how you want. Get a professional to come in and do their profession and their expertise. Yeah, what great advice. And you have a family behind the scenes as well, right?
I do. I have 2 daughters and a husband that's very busy. And yeah, we have a very busy lifestyle. So,
Well, good words for the wise if you want to become wise, because really your years of experience are worth avoiding the pain of a disastrous design when we're trying to do it on our own because we watch something on HGTV and we figure out we can do it now. But it's just a good reminder in business and in design.
yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, if you haven't gone to lushinteriors.com, I encourage you to go there. Thanks for taking a minute out of your day. I know you're busy. And, like Char said at the beginning, if you're local here in Calgary and you want to pop down to Okotoks and see Amy and Drew's office, reach out. I will host you there and you can see the work that they do.
Thanks for having me on. It's such a pleasure to always chat with you. Yeah, and if anybody wants to reach out, like just go to our website and reach out at any time. And thanks for having me.
Okay,
Yes.
thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed that episode and we'll see you next time.